Good afternoon. Well, we got some nice warm weather for a few days here, and I decided to dive into the circuitry here, and I've come to the conclusion that everything in here, as far as the motors and everything, not the mount trigger, not the eyes, but everything for the head motor and everything's going to have to be taken out. We're going to have to eliminate this, and I'm going to tell you why. It's too specialized. I tried jumping out the old switch, and I got the head to turn, but in the process of jumping out the old switch, experimenting basically, because I don't have a schematic of this thing, I have no idea how John did it. John, for those of you who are not familiar with, was formerly of the Solder Shack, and 2 years ago he designed and built this thing for me under what I wanted done. What happened was it blew. There's a 2 amp fuse and there's a 10 amp fuse here. I don't know if you can see that. Yeah, I blew the 10 amp fuse, and it's only a little tiny little baby fuse. I've got more fuses. That's not the problem. The problem is it's too specialized for me to work in, and it's intermittent even when I jump out the switch. And the stop switches, if you look up here, there's 2 micro switches that when it reaches the end, it shuts the head off, the head motor. Hear it? This is just too complicated. Well, we're going to eliminate all this. I'm going to eliminate all this. I'm not going to mess around tearing into this. I'm going to take the relay box out. I have to remove the amplifier, but that comes out easy enough. I got to take this head motor, which is has a 10 amp stall current. So there's a 8 amp fuse in there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to eliminate this worm gear. I'm going to eliminate this. I'm going to leave the mount trigger in here. This is a solenoid from a car door lock that John sent me from the UK. And the first one burnt up on me that I ordered from the Science Place in Chicago, I believe it was, and it burnt up in no time because of one of my skits. It got warm. I'm going to leave that in, but what I'm going to do is literally make big changes in this, and I'm not going to necessarily do this on camera. This thing can't be used anyways for Halloween. It's not going to be ready, so I'm going to take everything out, and I'm going to do it the brute force way, like I was originally going to do, using up to 8 wires going in to a plug. I'm not going to butcher this. I'm just going to take this and this out, and this comes with it. It's all hardwired in there. I'm going to take the whole thing out, and we're going to have the motor. Instead of being geared, it's a geared motor. Instead of running on this, which goes too damn slow, even with the Acme thread, if you look back on building Uncle Dorkel and motorizing Uncle Dorkel, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. For those of you who are new to the series, I would highly recommend you to watch those videos that I made in 2013, which is when I was building Uncle Dorkel, and he was hand operated, and 2014 he was motorized. So we're going to, and it'll lighten him up a little bit. So I'm going to take this motor, not right now, but I'm going to take this motor and I'm going to put it so that this shaft is facing upward like this, and I'm going to drive the head. Not going to worry about the head spinning, in other words, coming to a stop. But we got major work here to do in order to do that. And that's what I think I'm going to do. I'm going to eliminate this, because this, for me to go in here and put toggle switches in on a bigger box, I don't know what wire goes to where in the relay box. So what I got to do is I literally got to take all this out. I have to remove this. This amplifier will go back in. It may go on the vertical, because this motor's got to be taken out of here, and this shaft has got to be faced up, and I'm going to couple it to this. So in other words, it'll spin faster, which is what I want. I hope there's enough torque to turn this head. Don't seem to be too much resistance there. And we eliminate this stop thing altogether, because this head can spin completely around. And I'll use one double pole, double throw switch. Center off, so I can reverse it. And it don't matter if the head goes completely around. So what's going to happen here is literally this is going to have to be gutted out, or this stuff here, this taken out, the mouth trigger staying where it is, this assembly removed, this board up here removed, and the motor, well, this will be taken out, and the motor will be turned this way, and it will be coupled to this 1/4-inch shaft right here, which I may have to cut with a hacksaw. But once I get this all out of here, I'll know what's going on. So this is really going to be tied up for the rest of this year. I hate to do it, but it's too specialized. And this is only held in with one screw that I put a bracket here so that I can remove this right out of here. So I'm going to commence to take that out. When I get this out, I'll give you one last look here. So Uncle Dorkel, looks like you're in for major surgery. Okay, well, this is the box that he made up, and I had a little cushion in there. I added this bracket on here. This is basically, these are the extra fuses. This is, John made all this up. And here's the how it was set for the shut-off switches. I designed a bracket for it, the left and the right automatic shut-off on it, so it wouldn't stall the motor out. We don't have to worry about that anymore, because the head's going to spin completely around. Now, I got to cut these wires because they were hardwired into the rest of the circuit down here. So now we got the I motor wires, and here's the head motor wires, and this is the mouth trigger wires. All right, let's open this up. There's another nightmare in here. All right, 1, 2, 3. 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. At least 4 relays. I thought there was 5. Yeah, this is the fuse that blew right here. It's way too complicated. You know, you're getting into robotics here. So I should have just built this like I was going to. I had a little issue with how to make the safety switches so that it would shut off the motor when it got to the end of the travel, so it wouldn't stall the motor out and blow the fuse or strip the whatever was in there. And John was the only one that came up with a solution, a circuit that would do that. Well, I'm not even going to worry about that. I'm going to let this head just freelance, just go around. And I can watch it because I'm the only one operating this anyway, so I can watch and see that if his head goes out this far and out this far, that's sufficient. But if it goes out this way, it's not a big deal. But I don't think it actually turns completely around anyways, because the way I made it in here, it's not a smooth round circle plate in there. It's not perfectly round, and it hangs up in this area here, which is okay. All right. So we're going to redo this thing the old 64 goats primitive way. You know, sometimes the old stuff works the best. So there's going to be no more videos made on this here until I get the thing started, and what I'm got to figure out how I'm going to do it and get materials necessary to build this. Completely different remote. Completely different system. I may stay with the amplifier, although there's a lot of clicking that gets in there. And John sent me some capacitors and some diodes to help eliminate that, but that never really, when you did much, because you heard the noise through this. Each time you operate the mouth trigger, you get the clicking that will come into the amplifier. I'll work it out. The old goat way. Alright, all bagged up and just put away in storage. I'll probably never use this system again anyways, but that's it.